And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the late night podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. If you're watching the video, you saw my face contort to as if I saw something unsavory. And let me tell you, I did. I'm checking my email as the theme song was playing. It's 30 seconds. I can do whatever I want in 30 seconds. Instead of just looking at the camera and just dead-faced. And I'm in the promotions tab. I am very organized with my emails. I'm looking at the last thing that was sent to me at 1:30. It's now 1:47. And it's from Peloton. And it says, Chad, your legacy awaits. It's an ad. I guess they did they're partnering up with the new Captain America movie. It says, welcome to Train Like a Superhero Challenge. Excited for the theatrical release of Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World? We certainly are. Get your heart racing with workouts from our Train Like a Superhero collection. Earn badges along the way and keep an eye out for a special class to come. Now, I love doing the special classes. I think they're very fun. Am I a huge superhero movie fan anymore? No, I'm not. Am I a Star Wars fan? No. However, I did do the Star Wars class. I have done the Marvel music classes because you know what? They're different. I'm currently looking at the Train Like a Superhero promotion on the Peloton website, and I'll get to the late night stuff. This is usually what I reserve for the constitutionals, but this is a taste if you subscribe to this show and don't subscribe to that for some reason. I've already taken one of the classes unknowingly, and then another one of these. Okay, I'll take that. I'm not going to take that one. The 4 of these are things I do in the gym already, and I don't want to load up on that. I can't wait for this special class. I'm excited to see what it says. Late Night Lately, episode 53. Welcome back in. Welcome back, Cotter. That show was on sale on a website, TV show website, where I buy TV shows and movies digitally. I don't know why I'm being so coy about it. It's called FanFlix. Go there, sign up for their newsletters, and you get, there's so many great deals there. If you're someone who likes to buy movies and TV shows, you want to support things, but also get them for cheaper than what they would be on the website. What's it called? Like on iTunes or Vudu or whatever. Just whatever. Who cares? Welcome back in. We had a busy week with Late Night. Last week, Tonight came back. I have not seen it. I completely forgot about it. I saw Sunday that it was coming back, and then I said Monday I'll watch it, and then Tuesday I forgot. But he did a story on mass deportations, so expect that to come. And also, I'm noticing, this is fantastic. I know I've mentioned this before. They were supposed to get the remaining seasons, I guess, or they're supposed to release the remaining seasons of Last Week Tonight on the YouTube channel. And while it's not whole episodes, it is the main portion of the episode with the big story, as opposed to the top part where John most of the time, like a majority of the time, does like 4 or 5 minutes of this is what happened this week, and then they do a main story. So now you have the main story, but now it looks like they have all. Okay, so the show is on season 12. It looks like they have up to season 8 released, which is very cool because I know they're supposed to do that in their off time. They were going to upload those episodes. I think it's great. Everything should be available at all times. Yeah, it's so interesting. I would not want to go back, even though unfortunately, a lot of these stories would still make sense today. Like if I go back, I just scrolled down and I stopped the scroll. If I go back to season 5, episode 15, there's a lot of issues that are still going on. Xi Jinping, North Korea, family separation. That's still going on. Let me scroll down even further and I go down to season 4, episode 9, French elections, Trump in Syria. There we are. Season 4, episode 30, Trump presidency, Kim Jong Un, catheter catboy. Like it's crazy. It's still so relevant. I would not want to go back and rewatch that, but they're good for references. In the same way that I have on my personal YouTube a playlist of late night because I renamed it from late night to talk show. It's called Talk Show Bests, and it's just a playlist of things that happen on talk shows that I really think are great. But let me tell you, some of this stuff is evergreen, some of it is not. And I can't just go back. This is really great fodder. I'm not kidding. There's 317 videos. Some of them have been hidden by the posters, by the authors. I mean, it's crazy that like some of them are interviews. Like one of the last ones I liked was Ben Schwartz talking to Stephen Colbert on The Late Show. A lot of them, unfortunately, are closer looks that I thought were very funny. But they're also 7 months old, a year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. And if you go back and try to watch those, you go, oh my God. That happened in 2023. Ugh. And then some of them are, Conan clips. Like I have the Conan's All Kids audience show on there. There's also interviews from like 9 years ago that I'll just add on randomly. Tina Fey she did like a first impressions on Tonight Show like 9 years ago. Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote the new Muppet show at that time. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy were on Jimmy Kimmel Live together. Oh my gosh, I can't, like, scrolling through this is so crazy. Anyway, let's move on. What else happened this weekend late night? Nico Santos, Melissa Rauch, and Jessica St. Clair try to guess who saw the movie Baby Girl. I thought that was a very funny clip. I just choose clips. I thought it was a very funny clip because Nico, and I chose it specifically because Nico, who's a Filipino, said, I don't think any person of color saw that movie. And I laughed so hard. But this week, After Midnight had great people like James Davis on. God, I hate when they use comedians in the title. They also had... This is crazy. Who's comedians? Vinnie Thomas, Ramona Young. Wonderful. And then Colbert had Lin-Manuel Miranda, Audra McDonald, Miles Teller, Damon Wayans. And he had his own banner week. A lot of questionnaires have been released as of late. W. Kamau Bell. Again, I don't know what a questionnaire is. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Oh, excuse me. I linked to Lin-Manuel Miranda one. Ariana Grande popped up on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I like it when Jimmy Kimmel does bits with his with the celebrities because it's something that other shows like Fallon, I guess now at this point, Fallon like is reliant on that, whereas when it happens with other shows, it's so different. Rob Lowe, Bernadette Peters, Ariana DeBose, Harrison Ford. I have to watch the Harrison Ford interview because I missed it, but I'm excited to watch it because I know it's gonna be funny. Will Sasso was on last week. I missed it. And then, of course, you move on to Late Night. Late Night was a nice, solid week this week. Roy Wood Jr. came on and talked about his new special, but he also apologized to a teacher that he had years ago, and she got in contact with him. It was a great story. Cassie David, Nicole Scherzinger, Amy Schumer, Jillian Bell came on together. I like it when they have more than one person on the couch. I think it really helps. For any late night show, I think that really helps. Pete Davidson, Caitlin Collins. I still have to watch the corrections for this week. The Tonight Show was packed. But on top of all that, Jimmy had really great music from the likes of Japanese Breakfast and Sharon Van Etten, who I believe just released an album. He also had stand-up this week. But Idina Menzel stopped by. He talked about, Jimmy talked about his Broadway debut. Oh, the cast of Cobra Kai popped on. I have to catch up on that show. I have not seen any of the latest season. And by the time, I think the part 3 of the latest season drops next week, I'm not going to be able to catch up. And then the Marcelo Hernandez and Jimmy Kimmel. And Kenan Thompson did some T-Mobile rapping. The Daily Show featured Desi Lydic behind the desk this week. And Charlamagne the God did an opinion piece. But Desi interviewed people like Ki Hui Kwan, Julia Stiles, Nicole Avant, and of course, Jon Stewart was here to talk to Mo Amir, whose second season of his show debuted on Netflix. Okay. Now, what else happened in late night? Well, the SNL 50th anniversary is coming up, and anybody tied to that is going to be either promoting it or they're going to be busy working on it. I think, famously, last week I saw a headline that said that asked people like Will Ferrell and somebody else where they do you know what's going on with the 50th anniversary? Like, no, we don't find out until the week of. That's crazy. But we do know one thing. This comes from Rania Aniftos. On Billboard, Paul Schaefer is returning to late night to fill in for The Roots on Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The Roots will be the house band for the SNL 50th. I assume they're going to be working with the SNL band too. I just rewatched a bunch of SNL 40 clips, and the regular band is there. Everybody's wearing suits. It's so funny. It was. I know it's going to be. I know what it's going to be. I know what the 50th is going to be, but I'm very excited to see what happens. Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous band are going to be spending their time with that week of the 50th, which I believe is next week, with Jimmy Fallon, as the Roots are going to be doing. Oh, they're rehearsing for the concert. Oh, okay. So there's a 50th anniversary concert on Valentine's night, I believe, streaming only on Peacock, and that one's gonna feature people like Jennifer Lopez and I think Madonna, Lady Gaga. Just it's gonna be crazy. We're really, as the kids say, eating. If you don't know who Paul Schaefer is, why are you listening to this show? He was with Letterman from 82 to 93 on the late night, and then when they moved over to the Late Show in 93 to 2015. Can't believe we're going to bring back the world's most dangerous band. Oh, just like clockwork, the New York Times Amplifier newsletter, 2 p.m. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see them return. Paul, and I hate to say this about. I know I continually say this about Stephen Colbert, but Letterman and Schaefer are a great duo that have gone unmatched on Late Show so far. I don't think Stephen knows how to talk to the black men that have led his late night band, which I think is very funny. Unlike, because when you, let's look at Jimmy Vivino and the Basic Cable Band. Conan talked to Jimmy pretty well, and Fallon talks to Quest and Black Thought very easily. even Kimmel talks to his band leader. Like they can banter at least when that happens. I don't think Jimmy really talks to his band leader much, but I don't understand how he can do that. Anyway, moving on. This last thing comes from Ted Johnson over at Deadline. Amber Ruffin will headline the next White House Correspondents Association dinner. Now, the original text of this that came out was she was going to be the entertainment. That's what I remember seeing. The headline said Amber Ruffin will be entertainer at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is an updated article. The original, oh, good Lord, Deadline. This is what it's updated with the White House comment. So here's what Mr. Ted wrote. Amber Ruffin will be the featured entertainer at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Association dinner, scheduled for April 26th. She's very funny. I was going to read a comic, but I'm not going to. From the Politico people who hired her. She's very funny. She's great on Late Night with Seth Meyers when she pops up. She has hosted her own show. Unfortunately, that was canceled on Peacock. That was in the same vein as Late Night, but it was once a week. Used the same stage, and she still wrote for Late Night. And she still wrote the book for a Broadway play in that same time. Like, come on. And she wrote books with her sister. Ugh. Amber's great. She's so talented. She's so wonderful. And she's just one of the funniest people working in Late Night. Out of the totality right now, working in Late Night, including the writers, including performers. I'm just saying. We don't know if the current president is going to attend the dinner. He skipped the event in each of the 4 years of his term, but Joe Biden returned the tradition of presidential attendance. Caroline Leavitt, who is the current White House press secretary, I say current, she got married at. Never mind. The insane thing is like how this current administration, which was a past administration at one point, hires people who are my age or younger in the case of Caroline Leavitt, and those people live like it's 1971. You get married right out of college, you have children in that same year. It's crazy to me. Anyway, she said, quote, definitely an interesting choice of the comedian. What's that supposed to mean? Oh my God. If you want to see more of what's her name, Amber Ruffin, she's currently a panelist on Have I Got News for You on CNN. You know the network where they're supposed to remain objective, where what's his name, David Zaslav and Mark Thompson are like, you have to be objective, and then they essentially just let Jim Acosta leave. You know Jim Acosta, who would openly tell the current president that he's wrong, and the current president has been threatening this guy for years. Anyway, just saying. A reporter noted to Leavitt that Ruffin had called the current president, quote, a toddler with his pants pulled down. Leavitt said that she had not yet talked to the current president about, I don't know if you can hear this horn outside, but it's going off, about whether he would attend. The president last month bashed Seth Meyers and warned that Comcast, parent company of NBC Universal, should, quote, pay a big price for shows he calls, quote, political hits. Ugh, good Lord. Oh, Ruffin also wrote for a Black Lady sketch show. Huh. She also wrote for Detroiters. Wow. She also has a podcast with her sister, Lacey Lamar, and they also have books. Anyway, this is going to be fun. I love the White House Correspondents' Dinner, especially when somebody like Roy Wood Jr. hosts. Because he grew up with, I think his dad, his mom was a teacher, I believe, and his dad was a reporter. So, and he was a fake reporter on the Daily Show, but I mean, like he knows the news. So when you get people like Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert and Conan O'Brien and Amber Ruffin, Michelle Wolf, like when you get these people Roy Woods Jr. and Amber Ruffin to host the White House Correspondents Center, they know what they're doing. They're not going to make any mistakes. Larry Wilmore, that's who I was missing. I was like, there's someone else. All right. Listen, if you like what you heard here, I don't know why you would not. Head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to a bunch of famous people. If you want to watch a video version of me talking to famous people, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can also see a video version of this show, as well as The Constitutionals, which is the entertainment business news show, and LinkedIn Logs, which is the jobs podcast. You can also listen to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. You can subscribe, follow us on TikTok, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook at @C+Comedy. Be on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.